A very, very warm welcome to yet another Kumekucha video. Information and analysis that is very difficult to find anywhere else. I recommend that you subscribe and you hit the bell button so that you receive notifications every time I have a new video. Karibu sana and enjoy. There is something I would like to draw your attention to. It is something very, very shocking. It is also something that people can learn a lot from. That has unfolded in our country called Kenya very recently, indeed last month. And it is also something which should be even of greater interest to those Kenyans who are interested in investing their money. Even those interested in growing their small businesses. But it should also be extremely fascinating to every other Kenyan. What am I talking about? I'm talking about a service that was launched on 5th January called Fuliza. Now, Fuliza is a brand new service launched by Safaricom of Kenya, which is an overdraft facility. If you're talking in banking terms, it's an overdraft service. Overdrafts are short-term facilities that banks earn a lot of money, huge sums of money from. For instance, you're a small business, you don't have money to pay salaries, you go to your bank and you speak to them and tell them, look, I have these payments which have been delayed, but I have to pay my salaries on time. So the bank agrees, extends them the credit, and then they pay an interest on it. Now, overdrafts are much safer for banks and much more profitable than long-term loans. They are safer because these are short-term instruments. A few weeks, a month, and it has to be paid back. And many times before the bank gives the overdraft, they look at what is called your cash flow. Now, what Safaricom have done is to extend an overdraft facility to millions of Kenyans. A vast majority of them do not even know what an overdraft is. A vast majority of them have never received an overdraft from a bank or financial institution. Now, what really caught my attention and made me almost faint is the number of Kenyans who are able to access this overdraft facility only in the first month of its launch. It was launched on 5th January. So you count a month from 5th January, the number of people who accessed the Fuliza service, who used it, and were granted the overdraft, wait for this one, was 4.2 million. And there's more. The total amount of funds, released to these 4.2 million people was, wait for this one, 6.2 billion Kenya shillings. Now, this is equivalent of roughly $62 million, US dollars. Now, remember that this amount, this huge, colossal amount, is being paid back with interest. And also remember that it has to be paid back within 30 days. And that's not all. There's an extra fee of 30 shillings, which is charged every day that the loan remains unpaid, that the overdraft loan remains unpaid. And a person can take an overdraft of up to 70,000 Kenya shillings, or $700. Wah. Now, if ever there was a license, if ever anybody was given a license to actually print money, this is it. Now, having said that, I want to make sure you don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with what Safaricom have done. But they're doing it in partnership with two banks, Commercial Bank of Africa and KCB, Kenya Commercial Bank. And there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. There's nothing illegal with what they're doing. Indeed, they're serving a market. They're serving a demand which is there. They're helping Kenyans. They're helping to build a better Kenya. So don't start getting jealous over the amount of money Safaricom are making. Together with their partners. Don't. They're using their brains. They're using their platform and they're making loads of cash, tons of cash. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing illegal with that. You know, Kenyans are a very funny lot. Yeah, they cheer corrupt leaders. They cheer people who get rich on proceeds of corruption very quickly. Yeah, and then they start having my feelings when an entrepreneur comes up with a brilliant idea and starts making tons of money. They start feeling bad. They start using words like conning. Yeah, oh, these people are conning us. Nothing like that. Indeed, Safaricom is not the most profitable company in Eastern Central Africa by far, by accident. Yeah, it's hard work, brains. Yeah, they've made money by being smart. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with what they're doing with Fuliza. And so, even as I start feeling very dizzy over the kinds of money being made by Safaricom in this latest thing they've launched, yeah, the point of bringing it up was different. And this is where there's a massive opportunity for Kenyans who are alert. The success of the Fuliza service is a clear sign to those who want to see it, yeah, that the Kenyan economy is rapidly changing. Business right across the board is rapidly changing. How so? Let me really simplify this. Yeah, the days of the big customer, the days of the big spenders are gone. Many businesses, including yours and even mine, have been benefiting tremendously from corruption money. People throwing around their ill-gotten wealth. Let me give you a few examples. Banks have been benefiting from huge deposits, yeah, from very corrupt people. Real estate developers have had no problem, yeah, putting up very many units and selling them just like that. Yeah, 5 million, 6 million is nothing. Yeah, you build 100 units and even before you complete them, they're gone. They've all been bought. You build an upmarket shopping center and even before you complete the project, all the shops, all the facilities, all the apartments are taken. Corruption money. Okay? Now things have changed very dramatically because even the people engaged in corruption have a very huge problem. Yeah? Because they don't want to attract attention from the Kenya Revenue Authority. Even banking a mere million shillings, yeah, a mere $10,000 is a problem. Yeah, because the bank will have to ask you, what is the source of your money? You have not registered a supermarket. You don't own anything, yeah, to justify this huge banking. Where did you get this money from? To cut a very long story short, yeah, businesses will have to shift their attention, yeah, to the middle-income earners and to the low-income earners. And this is precisely what Safaricom have done with Fuliza, yeah, and the results are there for you to see. Now today, let me just give you one idea, yeah, of how you can benefit, how you can create another Fuliza of your very own. There are very many Kenyans who have put aside 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, and they have a problem. How do you invest 2 million shillings? How do you invest 3 million? Safely and for a good return. How do you do that? Now I appreciate the fact that some of the people taking in this channel will have no idea what I'm talking about. But I also know for sure that many who take in this channel, who have been through that experience of having a few millions put aside, will know precisely what I'm saying. Because you want a safe return, and you want a return that is as high as possible. So here's a Fuliza you can launch. Now there are very many advantages of going into the real estate business. Yeah, very many, including the fact that you've bought land. So whatever happens, the value of that land is climbing. Even if the project you undertake on that piece of land, even if that project fails, you still have your piece of land, your asset, very valuable asset. So if you have 2 or 3 million put aside and you don't know what to do, buy a plot. Yeah. Now the most popular plots usually measure 1/8 of an acre. And there are many very good areas within Kenya where you can get 1/8, yeah, for $1 million bob or so. And then once you've gotten your piece of land, build 2 or 3 bedroom houses. It is very easy to get 12 units into that piece of land. Just put an extra floor above what you build on the ground. And to make maximum use of the piece of land, make the parking underground. Now, underground parkings may be very expensive to construct if you're putting them under a building. But what if you put the underground parking in the middle, where there's no building? And then on top of the parking, create a nice garden. Do some serious landscaping, flowers, grass, maybe even a playground. And then rent out those 12 units, and ask for a very low price. Instead of 20 or 25,000, charge between 10 and 12,000 for your very beautiful 2 or 3 bedroomed apartments. I think 2 would work out best. And because the units are few, they can be built very quickly in a matter of a few months. Basically, what you'll be doing is targeting a market that real estate developers in Kenya have always ignored. And the beauty of it is that there's a very high demand for this kind of housing countrywide. Because remember, now we have county governments. A lot of professionals, a lot of people used to living in big cities like Nairobi and Mombasa are moving back to the counties, and they need to be housed. And so this can be another Fuliza deal for a Kenyan who is alert. Think about it. And when you're sure, don't waste time. Go for it. Now, as many of you already know, there's a book which has been produced titled 101 Brilliant Business Ideas That Will Thrive in Kenya. It is still available, and you can use that email address you see on your screens right now to get all the details you need on how to order this amazing ebook of ideas. And I'm very sure if you don't like this Fuliza idea I've given you, you'll be able to find your own Fuliza idea amongst the 101 in this ebook. That is why I highly recommend it. But meanwhile, I urge you to wake up and smell the coffee. The market has shifted and will continue to shift very rapidly. Don't be caught on the wrong side of it. And it is all for a better Kenya. Because the more millionaires we have out there who are not corrupt millionaires, they've earned their money through legit ways, the better it is for our country. It is time we gave our young people the correct role models. Until next time, this is Kshs, Kumekucha.